Mike Sander. Marty, are you ready?
I am, and it looks like, oh, we have two Mirtas here. That means somebody probably got Mirta's link. Oh, there we go.
Okay. We might have a couple more trickling in. I'm not sure. Why don't we, let me get back to my agenda. How about we go ahead and we'll start the meeting and I'll have you just go through the virtual information. So, all right. Well, good evening, everyone. It is February 14th, 2022 for the Missoula City Council, and I will call the meeting to order. Happy Valentine's Day. Look what we're doing tonight. So Marty, if you want to go through the how people can engage with this meeting, and then after that, we'll do a roll call because I have a feeling we're going to get a couple more people coming in.
Will do. So I think, hang on just a second. I didn't quite share exactly what I want to share. So folks who want to join this meeting can do so via the city's website. So this is for folks who might be watching on MCAT right now and you want to join and comment. So if you're already in the meeting, you've already figured out how to join us. And so let me show how that all works here. So the first thing you'll do is come to the city's main webpage. Here it is, lovely photo of Missoula. You might not have the same photo, but there's going to be a really pretty view of your community here. And right here in the middle of this page is a button that says meetings. And if you click on the meetings button, that'll take you to our public meeting portal that will show you how to join all of the city's public meetings that are being held virtually. Tonight, we're at City Council. Tonight is Monday the 14th. Happy Valentine's Day for everybody. And, or Galentine's Day, or whatever you celebrate. And the City Council meeting is showing right here at 6 o'clock. And you'll open up that item and you can click. There's a thing here that says agenda, but the links are actually HTML or PDF. And you can click on either one of those. And when you do, it will open up the City Council's agenda for this evening. You'll see a little video over here in the corner. And up here at the top is a link that says attend by computer, and you can hit join the meeting. Now, if you don't have a computer, you can still join our meeting. There is an option for cell phone users to call in toll free and use, or for landline, or cell phone users usually don't pay cell phone charges, but if you do, there are some 800 number options here, mostly for landlines, but if you pay toll charges on your cell phone, you can also call us in that way. Zoom is going to say welcome to Zoom, and it's going to ask you to enter a webinar ID. Here is the webinar ID that we use for every single city council meeting. And so you'll put that number in on your phone. If you're prompted, the password is here. And then as you're in the meeting, if you wish to comment an agenda item when Council President Gwen Jones calls for public comment, you can press *9 on your phone to be recognized for public comment. And you are muted. So in order to unmute your phone, you can press *6 to mute and unmute your phone. And I think that covers everything. Other ways to watch us, of course, you can stream online and on YouTube. You do not need, if you don't want to talk during the meeting to the council members, or you can, for years, you've been able to watch us on Spectrum Cable Channel 190. I think there's one little other bit of information that I want to share. We also have a voicemail option for you if you wish. So you can call 406-552-6012 and leave a voicemail message, and that will reach all 12 council representatives, one phone call, all 12 members, or you can email City Council at council, COUNCIL at ci.missoula.mt.us. And that email address will send your email to all 12 council members. You should note that whenever you send emails or voicemails, they are published on our website. So,
thank you so much for that. In terms of roll call, I believe we have all counselors in attendance except for Amber Sherrill. So if you want to note that, Marty. We have minutes from February 7th, 2022. Were there any changes to those minutes? Seeing none, those will stand approved. And next on the agenda is the schedule of committee meetings for, I believe it's February 23rd. Did you want to go through those, Marty?
I do. Hang on just a second. I'm going to catch up with the minutes here. And we're ready to schedule committee meetings. Hang on, and I'll share my screen on that one too. So everybody can follow along with me. Okay, we are setting up committee meetings for 2 weeks. Next week is the President's Day weekend, and City Council will not meet in regular session, so no meeting February 21st. And thus we're not going to have any committee meetings this coming Wednesday on the 16th. All these committee meetings that I'm going to be announcing are being held on the 23rd of February, about a week and a half from today. The first meeting is Committee of the Whole here. They're meeting February 23rd from 10:25 in the morning to 10:55. They will be discussing the Global Settlement Agreement and Release with Carlyle Group. The Public Works Committee will meet on the 23rd from 11:10 to 11:50. They have 5 items on their agenda. There's a memorandum of understanding for the Midtown Master Plan, purchase of a turf and lawn sprayer for the Parks Department. There is and the purchase of 3 different types of vehicles, 1 for wastewater, 3 for police, and 7 SUVs for the police department. And the Parks and Conservation Committee will be meeting from 12:20 to 12:35, and they'll be taking up a dedication of the Pineview Park Ice Rink to honor Bill Beavis, a college professor of mine who also had mad rink developing skills in Pineview Park up in the Rattlesnake area. And finally, the Administration and Finance Committee will meet from 12:50 to 3 o'clock and take up a contract for email security with a company called Barracuda, and amendments to the City Council rules. We're hoping to close out that project this week. Thanks.
Thank you, Marty. Thanks for that. The next item on the agenda is public comment on items not on the agenda. And let me see what we have. Okay, I have Beth W. So Beth, you should be able to unmute yourself and talk now. Give public comment. There you go.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
My name is Beth Taylor Wilson. I'm a member of 350 Montana, and I just want to thank you very much for all the work on the 100% clean energy. And we are just, members are just trying to call in as often as we can and just remind you of how important this is and how much we appreciate all your good work. And I would just say that climate change is so totally interrelated to every other issue that you guys deal with, whether it's housing, poverty, whatever it is. And I think most of you know that, but we just want to keep the focus on the 100% clean energy as much as we can. And I just am here to encourage you to keep going on that. And I know that the efforts can be frustrating, but this is the year. We just, have so little time left to really turn this thing around. And So we're just wanting to be sure that it stays in everybody's front of mind. And thank you very much. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Next, I have Letitia Ray. And Letitia, you should be able to unmute yourself and speak. There you go.
Hi, yes. My name is Leticia Romero. I am a community member of Ward 4. I'm a mom. I guess I just wanted to just take a couple of minutes just to, on this Valentine's Day, to show a little bit of love and reminder of our planet, our Mother Earth. And I wanted to share just a quick excerpt from Robin Wall Kimmerer's book, Braiding Sweetgrass, which I hope that you guys can get a chance to read sometime this year. Okay, so we are showered every day with the gifts of the earth, gifts we have neither earned nor paid for: air to breathe, nurturing rain, black soil, berries, and honeybees. The tree that became this page, a bag of rice, an exuberance of a field of goldenrod and asters at full bloom. So I guess I just want to say that as we move forward as a community throughout the year, I want us to continue to be creative and to be imaginative with every decision that we make. And if you can imagine, if every time we sit down, whether it's at this table or at another table that you guys go to, other meetings, friends, other groups, just to imagine pulling out a chair for our Mother Earth, our planet, however you may picture that. For me, it's the chickadees, our backyard chickadees, that sing the sweetest songs in the spring. For you, it may be something else. It may be the rain, that falls in the reprieve during a summer drought, whatever that may be. I just want us to think, like, for Valentine's Day, just, we're giving lots of love to each other, but are we remembering our Mother Earth? And, that can be, we have to, like the community member who spoke right before this said that this is the time, we're way past time. We're past the time of incremental change. And so I'm really encouraging radical change, to be really creative and just go for it. And whatever you guys, talk about and decisions, don't be courageous to speak on behalf of our planet, who's definitely suffering right now, and climate is collapsing and environmental collapse in all ways. But yeah, that was all I wanted to share. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you for that. Okay, seeing no other attendees with raised hands for public comment. The next item on our agenda is the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda were approved in city council committees to be placed on the consent agenda to save time at council meetings by voting on them as a package. The city clerk will read the list aloud, so citizens watching on MCAT will know what is on the consent agenda, and then we will invite community comment on these items before we vote. Marty.
Thank you. Tonight's consent agenda has 11 items. The first is to approve accounts payable, paying the city's bills in the amount of $1,194,871.71 for checks that are dated tomorrow, February 15th, 2022. Number 2 is to award the bid to Prospect Construction for the Upper Prospect number 2 water storage tank at a cost not to exceed $880,794 and authorize the return of bid bonds. Number 3 is to award the bid for the Beckwith Avenue water main replacement from Rollins Street to Woodford Avenue to Three Rivers Landworks for an amount not to exceed $498,802.22 and authorize the return of bid bonds. And I just realized I usually share the screen. that I'm reading here. So here we go. There we go. Number 4 is to approve and authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes for their work on the National Institute of Health funded grant project titled The Link. Number 5 is to approve and authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Communication and Management Services for classification of non-union positions for $33,000. Number 6 is to appoint Emily Schenkel to the alternate 2 position of the Resident Oversight Committee. That's the affordable, it says Affordable Resident Oversight Committee. I think it's Affordable Housing Resident Oversight Committee for a term beginning on February 15th, 2022 and ending on May 31st of 2022. Number 7 is to set a public hearing for February 28th, that would be 2022, with final consideration on March 7th, 2022, for a resolution amending the annual appropriations for the city of Missoula, Montana, as set forth in the fiscal year 2022 budget and capital improvement program. Number 8 is to adopt a resolution relating to up to $3,651,000 water system revenue bonds. This is with the Montana State Department of Natural Resources and Conservation's Drinking Water State Revolving Loan Program. This is a Series 2022 State Revolving Fund bond. And council this evening, by adopting this resolution, is authorizing the issuance of the bonds and fixing the terms and conditions of those bonds and making certain corresponding amendments to a prior resolution on this matter. That was resolution number 8319. Number 9 is to approve and authorize the mayor to sign an interlocal agreement with Missoula County for federal building design and construction. Number 10 is to revoke resolution number 8149, entitled A Resolution of the Missoula City Council and establishing a property tax. There's a typo here, relief fund for individuals disproportionately, it should be disproportionately affected by city property tax increases, AKA Betty's Fund. And then finally, number 11 is to direct community planning, development, and innovation staff, that's a city department, to prepare an amending Title V, the City of Missoula's business licenses and regulations ordinance, in alignment with the presented Title V amendments entitled Cannabis Business Standards White Paper, and set a public hearing process with an April 4th public hearing at City Council. And I think that's our consent agenda.
Great, thank you. Is there any public comment on these items? I do not see any raised hands. And from council, Ms. Vasika?
Thank you. I would like to vote on 511 separately. And may I speak to that?
Sure.
Okay, so on Wednesday, I just didn't really agree with a lot of the regulations that were going to be in it. So that's the reason why I'm voting no on this evening. I do, however, would like to, if it was just setting the public hearing, I would be in support of it, but it sounds like it's going to be in support of the amendments too. So that's why I'm voting no.
So it's a motion to direct staff to continue working on it, as well as setting a public hearing. Does that change anything that you want to do?
No, I'd like to continue what I was doing.
Okay, so we will divide the question with 5.11, I believe it is. Yes. Okay, any other comment or questions from council?
I have a question. So
Yes, Marty?
I've been on vacation and I didn't have a chance to review your agenda last Friday. I took a real vacation and tuned out completely. Is it council's intent to conduct first reading on this ordinance this evening? That should be implicitly stated in the motion to set the public hearing and do first reading. Otherwise, I would tell staff that they need to bring this back and so it can have first reading, because there is nothing here that implicitly says that you are setting a public hearing and doing first reading and preliminarily adopting the ordinance, which is a requirement of law in order to
Okay.
adopt an ordinance.
Let me go to Jordan, Chair of
Uh,
LUP. And
Thanks, Gwen, and thanks, Marty, for pointing that out. I think we could remove the public hearing and set that later. They're planning to do some work and come back to us in April, so we could set the public hearing. I believe what they had intended to do was bring a pre-public hearing draft before LUP. So maybe we could. There is no public hearing draft at this point, so maybe we could maybe we could just direct them to continue work and then come back and set a public hearing later.
I think that's a good course of action. You can't hold a reading on something that isn't drafted. So, and we can't notice something because we have to say that it's available. And so it just seems like this is a direction at this time to staff to bring it back and schedule the hearing and the reading at a later date. Thank you.
that makes a lot of sense. And yes, Marty's back, keeping us on the straight and narrow. Thank heavens. Okay, I think we've had public comment on this, and any other council questions or comments? Then we will have a roll call vote with 5.11, the question divided on that one.
Okay, I'm going to take this as having been amended to direct staff to continue working on the ordinance.
Thank you.
And we'll start the roll with Anderson.
Yes.
Becerra.
Yes.
Carlino.
Could you hear me? Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Contos.
Yes.
Hess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Nugent.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Vasika.
No.
And West.
Yes.
Would any of you like to change your vote? That is 10 ayes and 1 nay and 1 absent.
Thank you. All right, did you divide do we have to vote on the rest? Did you do? Okay, go ahead. Didn't know if you were waiting on me.
Okay, so that item passed, and now we're voting on items 1 through 10. And we'll start this round. Hang on. Get everything scrolling here. With Becerra.
Yes.
Carlino.
Yes.
Contos.
Yes.
Hess.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
Nugent.
Yes.
Savage.
Yes.
Vasika.
Yes.
West.
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Okay, that gives us 11 ayes. Oh, did anyone want to change your vote? That gives us 11 ayes and 1 absent.
Thank you, Marty. Okay, moving down our agenda, we have no comments from city staff, agencies, boards, commissions, authorities, or community forum. The next item is special presentations. And we do have a proclamation for Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women Awareness Day that I will read. Whereas the city of Missoula joins with Canada to spur awareness in Montana, the Great Plains region, and the United States for murdered and missing Indigenous women. Whereas there is not a comprehensive estimate of Indigenous women who are missing and murdered in the United States, but many factors contribute to this crisis, such as fear, stigma, legal barriers, racism, sexism, and the devastating levels of violence in the US. And whereas nearly half of all Indigenous women in the United States have been raped, beaten, or stalked by an intimate partner, 1 in 3 will be raped in her lifetime. An Indigenous woman is more likely to die by homicide than by illness. intentional homicide has been the third leading cause of death for Indigenous females aged 10 to 24. And on some reservations, Indigenous women are murdered at a rate 10 times higher than the national average. And whereas for more than 20 years, there have been awareness raising efforts in Canada on Valentine's Day, and the Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women Awareness Day seeks to build support by increasing awareness in the United States. And whereas Indigenous women authored this proclamation, starting with Ruth Plenty Sweetgrass She Kills, beginning in 2016, to bring greater awareness to MMIW in the Missoula Valley and beyond. And now, therefore, John Engen, Mayor of Missoula, Montana, does hereby proclaim Sunday, February 14th, 2022, as Murdered and Missing Indigenous Women Awareness Day, and it's signed by the mayor. And I just wanted to briefly say this is the 6th year that I have heard this. I think awareness builds gradually. I am so glad this continues to come back so that we can focus on it every year and continue to spread that education. It is a huge, huge issue that is just so important to address. I was going to see if anyone in the public had attended tonight, intending to give comment on this topic. So if anyone who is attending would raise their hand if they wanted to speak to this. I'm not seeing any raised hands. Anyone from council wanted to add their comments regarding this proclamation? I am not seeing anyone, but we will continue to promote awareness within Missoula, and I'm glad that we have this. Okay, moving forward with our agenda, we have no public hearings tonight. We have no final consideration. Communications for the mayor. I'm sitting in his seat tonight and I do not have any communications. General comments of council. I will just go in order here with Heidi West.
I'll pass.
Okay, Jennifer Savage.
I'll pass tonight.
Mirta Becerra.
We'll pass. Thanks.
Jordan Hess.
Pass also, thank you.
Dan Carlino.
I'll pass too.
Mike Nugent.
Yeah, real quickly, Councilwoman Cheryl and I have received some emails over the weekend about people asking about potential zoning changes in our ward, and we figured out that they were discussing county zoning changes. So just a general reminder for the public that the Missoula County is undertaking a major zoning rewrite currently, and that will be in front of the planning board on March 1st. But that is a county issue, not a city issue. So I would encourage you to Google Missoula County zoning update, and they've got a great website for more information on that.
Great, thank you. John Contos.
Happy Valentine's.
Thank you. Stacy Anderson.
Thanks so much. As my mom would say, happy yucky mushy love day.
Kristen Jordan.
I'll pass tonight. Thank you.
Okay, and Sandra Vasika.
Thanks. Just happy Valentine's Day. Whether you spend it going out or staying in, hold your loved ones close. And I hope you all enjoy the evening.
Thank you. Okay, we have nothing under committee reports. Is there any new business to be referred? Seeing no raised hands. We have already covered our items to be referred in committee, and there are no miscellaneous communications, petitions, reports, or announcements. So we have not yet reached 6:30, and it's a good plan to have a short meeting on Valentine's Day. Okay, thank you everyone for your service, and we will stand adjourned.